guys, what's up? How you going? It's been a while for another video, but I did put a post out on Facebook just to see what people wanted. I got a few replies, so we'll just go with those. I think there's about 6. I only put the post up like an hour ago or something, and 6 people come back with a few coins, so that should be enough to do this. I did want to start with DOGE though, just because of the hype around Twitter at the moment, because Elon has officially purchased it. So as soon as that news came out, we had this pump, big volume, like the biggest volume since December and October. So worth noting. So there could be some ridiculous correlation with how well Twitter goes and how well, and the DOGE price, right? Because they've all seen in the past that, Elon's like a fanboy of DOGE. So is the narrative now, Elon's going to somehow incorporate Dogecoin into Twitter? I don't know, nothing's been said, but I'm sure if you're a DOGE fanboy, everyone in the various DOGE forums are coming up with all sorts of conspiracy theories about what's going to happen. Maybe nothing, but that's what's caused that. I would keep an eye on it because, it's crypto, right? The narrative, the narrative is what's important, not, actual facts or meaningful stuff, because we've seen crazy stuff in crypto. Anyway, keep an eye on that. It is funny though that it did bounce off a really good level though, didn't it? Maybe it's not funny. That's basically how TA works, right? Anyway, so let's have a look at the first suggestion, which was DYDX. Oh, and I have a love-hate relationship with this coin. So back in October last year, I said, I wanted to short it, and here's the arrows that are still there. I haven't deleted it. But my arrows were, I'm waiting for it to pull back up to here, then I short, but it never did that. And then it's been cratering ever since. It would have been like the best short trade ever. Look at it. From October, it could have just like dropped the shorts all the way down to the bottom. Oh well, say that'll be. Anyway, that's not what we're looking at now. We're looking at down here. This is the daily. It seems to be all flat here. How are we with trend? So you could draw it like that. You could draw it like this also. So, is there a bull div? It kind of looks like one. There's a bull div. Is there? Not really. That's surprising, actually. Usually you see, if there's a double bottom like this after like a long, and it's trying to turn up, you'll see a bull div, but I don't see one. And what else is interesting is that the RSI is sort of just hovering around 30, high to mid 30s, where usually if it's bottoming, the left side of the bull div will be down in the 20s, and then it'll sort of pop up, but it hasn't done that yet. Like no one's buying it, like the trading activity is all dead. So it looks like it's beginning to bottom if it hasn't already. It's like nobody's just interested in buying it. We've got a double bottom. It's sort of curving down like that. So what you would want to do is wait for it to get to a good level and then sort of buy. So I know like the next good level for me would be around here. But I mean, the whole market's just sideways and crap. So are there any fundamental catalysts coming up for DYDX? I'm not sure, but it has bottomed out. But it is interesting that there's no bull div. So yeah, it's been like that now for 2 weeks almost. Just flat, sideways, nothing. If you have high conviction in it from a fundamental standpoint, then dollar cost average in. But from a trade perspective, it's pretty quiet. So yeah, I'm not too sure on that one. I don't think I would personally take a position, but Litecoin is the next one on the list. Let's use the Binance chart. Litecoin is looks similar, doesn't it? It's probably about there. Let's have a look at what else is there. Another level here ish. Go to the weekly. Might make more sense on the weekly. All right. Yeah, good area. So here is like a previous high, and we've had touches on it there. So where I drew it was pretty good. There's some consolidation in here. Obvious bottom here. It's dead flat RSI. Like there's like nothing's happening in terms of bulls or bulls. The bulls or the bears trying to win. Who's getting stronger? Neither of them are. It's just a tug of war battle. We're going sideways. That should be obvious. Been going sideways for a long time. Just stretch this out a bit. There's just nothing. It's just it hasn't reached the highs or the lows or anything. This is the sort of trading that people that really love Bollinger Bands would love. This is Bollinger Band glory, and I use Bollinger Bands, but not for trading sideways. For volatility spikes, I use them. So anytime it's outside, then you want to buy or sell. Well, it's an indication that you should be. It's an indication that the prices are way higher than they are normally for this range. So pay attention. Everything's inside, sideways. I think there's some catalysts coming up. There's some fundamental catalysts coming up, like they're improving the protocol. The thing is that with Litecoin, there was something else that was supposed to improve the protocol back here in the start of the year, or like Mimblewimble or something. But like it's just gone down. Nobody cares. Nobody talks about it on the forums either. So yeah, it's just one of those coins that's going to follow the rest of them, especially because its market cap is so high. It just seems like a double. Like it's not in 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, December 2020. It's back to the prices of December 2020. So as long as it holds here, it should be fine. I mean, it's not something that I would personally want to buy, but it does look like it's bottoming though. Yeah, another dollar cost average, I think. I mean, the whole market's a bit meh at the moment, really. All the action's happening on NFTs. That's where the hype is. There always seems to be a new project launched every week. Something new to buy, something new to talk about. NIA is the next one on the list. NIA was one of the ones that I said to keep an eye on for Q1, but nothing really happened. So Q2, they launched or have launched, NIA have launched their stablecoin. I think it went live this week. It's sort of launched up and reclaimed a level, come up and back. So there's a high test here, got rejected, and then just fell. But then we've got, what's it now? So this is just opened, this candle. So it's Tuesday. So it opened up on Monday. So it came down, bounced off here, and now it's green. So it might be trying to do that. Again, everything's fundamentally driven. Otherwise, it'll just be correlated with everything else. So there needs to be a reason for somebody to buy this. You could draw that trend line one of two ways, really. But you'll notice that it's sort of following the 200 EMA anyway, which is this purple line. Bear divs? No, not really. Does this mean anything? Not really. I think the weekly looks probably like the cleanest one. Because this is the weekly chart, this candle hasn't even closed yet. So, from it's at a 50% retrace bounce off a good level. This is not bad, right, for going in long, but this is the weekly chart, so it'll take another 7 days. Well, what's a Tuesday? So like 6 days for it to close, and you want it to close like that, and then you would enter. So maybe wait another week is what I'm saying for this one. Just see what happens. If you're scalping going on the much lower time frames, then see here was a bull div here, which you could have gone in on. There to there, and that's where this the golden Pepe, these golden things here. So that's a combination of like bull div and a bunch of other stuff, and they all converge together. So there would have been a good signal there. So that's another thing that I should talk about while we're here. So if you see a good level on a high time frame, like daily or weekly, they're really, really, really strong. So there's a higher chance that it's going to bounce around this area on the lower time frame. So it might see how it bounced here, but then it sort of just collapsed right through it. Because the area up here wasn't as strong as the area down here on the weekly and the daily. Where have I drawn it? Let's just get rid of that. See, there's the pin. So if you draw it actually accurately, like how you should be drawing it, so at the end of here and here, which makes more sense, and the pin, it's bounced right off that. So maybe as far as whole numbers are going, maybe $13.50. So you're going to get way better bounces off higher time frames than the lower ones, which it did. So good. If you're good at scalping and you're diligent with cutting losers quickly, then scalping these things on the way down is fine. Go with the trend, short all the way down. You could add in, but if you're trying to bounce long like here, it's like you thought it here's the line, right? So it dumps and you think, right, that's it, I'm going to go in long. But if you look higher, here is that higher line. It went below that to here, so it bounced off the close of these ones. If we go to the weekly, you can see on the weekly that this bottom line makes more sense than this top one. If I get rid of this and I say that's support, it doesn't look right, does it? It looks like it needs to be lower, like around here. That makes more sense. So that's how you can sort of double check if you've got your lines right. You should be drawing them from the weekly downwards. Weekly, draw them on the weekly, then look at them on the daily and see if they make sense still. And these are the super strong ones, and you want to have your orders around here. And then if you see an entry on the 1 hour and the 15 minute, and it looks like it's bottom here, and you go, oh, the weekly support's here. What people do, if they think this is the bottom, they'll go here and they'll put their stop in, a little bit below, and then try it. And then, of course, the big boys push it down, take all the stops out, and then launch it. So overall, though, this DYDX chart's not DYDX. This near chart's, yeah, it looks okay. It still could come back to the 200 though. So keep that in mind. Maybe like enter like a half your position here and the next half down here. Near Luna is the next one. Luna. Sort of looks like near. It looks like near, doesn't it? So I think those two are looking correlated. So where's near? Let's flip back. Sort of similar. They're similar. Luna's got all the hype with UST. Like that stablecoin is, asserting its dominance. So again, it's all about the hyper narrative, right? This whole Luna thing could be a complete Ponzi and just collapse, but you don't know that. You don't know that for sure. Ponzi's can go on for years and years and years. And when I say Ponzi, it's not a pure Ponzi. It's, Ponzi-nomics in crypto. Don't take that literally. If you're new to crypto, it's definitely not an actual Bernie Madoff type Ponzi. So for Luna, we're in this area, which is sort of like bouncing for the last 4 or 5 months. So you want to get out of that up here. As long as it hovers around here, then the whole Luna UST thing is quite healthy. There's nothing in here that screams for me an entry. I would have to look elsewhere. Like the weekly says bear div actually. If you look at it, where's my arrow? But the bear div's played out already. Get rid of that. The bear div's played out already. So there's the bear div. It dumped. So that's it. Bear div over. So now you're looking for bull divs and other things. I think it's just a wait and see for me on Luna. I don't see anything. As far as fundamentals are concerned, it's still okay for the project as a whole, but I still don't. For me, there's no entry. It's more like buying here, maybe around the 200, which is also around where this support level is. So maybe price will go up or around sideways and sort of hover. And as it hovers up here, the 200 EMA will still grind higher and higher and higher, and then it will meet this support level. And then it bounces off that and it should launch. Next one, MATIC. Haven't looked at MATIC in ages. These old lines, let's get rid of them. Look at the weekly. It's precarious, isn't it? It's sort of like hanging off the edge. It's hanging off the edge. I'll just get rid of this. See, it's like a cliff face or the eave of a house where it's sort of just hanging out in the breeze and there's nothing underneath it. I don't like it when it does that. It just looks really precarious. The level is strong though. It's been respected many times. So will it hold? Will it break? And you could draw that one up 2 ways, couldn't you? Is there a bull div? No, there's nothing. It's just sideways for the whole year in terms of like sentiment from the bulls and the bears, which is what RSI is all about. You could argue for like if you have to squint and think about it, it's not usually there. So it should be super obvious, slap you in the face. That's a falling wedge, or that's a head and shoulders, or whatever the pattern is. If it's super obvious for you, then it'll be super obvious for everybody else. And then the game theory comes in. Well, if it's so super obvious, is everyone going to treat it that way, or are people going to fake people out and then go reverse? But if it's all some people are going to see this and some people are not going to see this, then there's not going to be much conviction in the move. So it needs to be obvious. And this isn't really that obvious. It's not that clean. I don't like it. It could be curving up. It's sort of similar to the first 2 charts that we looked at. So, and what were they? Let's have a look at my list. Yeah, Litecoin, Near, and this, and DYDX, they all sort of look the same. And they're all DeFi coins, so they're all correlated. And it's all a bit of the same, isn't it? It's like, what's Solana look like? Not the same. Oh, that was my old one. Even I got stopped out on this one. Let's get rid of that. Remove drawings. Oh, but you see, here's another trick with trading is that you can get the sort of general idea right, but then you might get your levels wrong and your entry wrong. Because this could because my theory was up, then back, then bounce. And it still could do that, except it might just go up and then bounce down here, then go. Whereas I was saying it was going to happen sooner like that. And that didn't work. Just remove all of this. Remove all of that. So you remove all the junk. That's level 1. That's level 2. It's a level here-ish. Depending on how you draw it, you either say that's an anomaly or that is the level. So I'll draw it there for now. Price isn't even there. And then you got one here maybe because it's bounced off there. So, but this is the main sort of talking point that we're in. We're at a good level here. RSI is doing nothing. Bollinger's, it's inside Bollinger, so it's not volatile. Bulls and bears are fighting it out, doing nothing. Trade volume is pretty normal. It needs, this is another DCA coin, really. Like the fundamentals of Solana haven't changed, and they're getting better with chain upgrades and all that sorts of stuff. They've just put in this new thing called Quick, which apparently is something that's will reduce the amount of DDoS attacks that it gets. Someone did a Twitter thread about it. So that's another good thing. It should remove the ability for spammers to clog the chain with just garbage, especially around NFT launches. So yeah, it's a wait and see. I still have a bag of this. I don't have any intention of selling it. So I mean, it's a great level. It hasn't fallen or broken if you wanted to go long here, but there just needs to be, just because there's a good level on a coin, there needs to be a reason for it to go up from here. And there hasn't been a reason for a lot of these coins to go up in the last 2 weeks. Like we've really been twiddling our thumbs for the last 2 weeks. Like even with Bitcoin, it hasn't really done that much at all. Like it's sort of grinded its way up, but it's basically where it was the start of the year, like, right? Ethereum is the last one on the list. Here's my head and shoulders, I can't ignore it sort of thing, but we're now bouncing off this level. So on the weekly, it's pretty obvious that there's a good one here, a good level here in this region. Again, it's just sideways flat from momentum, right? But it is grinding higher, which is good, right? So from a T8 standpoint, we're going higher lows, we're going up. That's fine. It can do whatever it wants up here. I don't care. If I start seeing lower lows, I get nervous. If I see higher lows grinding higher and higher and higher over time, that's great. Like if you can time the spikes and sell and then rebuy back on the trend, awesome, do that. If you're a holder, what you got to worry about is that we're going up like this, and it shouldn't matter what angle it is, as long as it doesn't start doing that. As long as like the angle could be like that, it could be like this, it could be like whatever, it doesn't matter. Higher lows, that's all you want, right? Have your bags for the long game, and then you'll always be increasing, or hopefully higher than what the inflation rate is. We all hope that, right? But that's what you want to see. Higher lows. Okay. So everything's good with ETH. Looks like it's trying to bounce here, but again, this is the weekly chart and it's only Tuesday, so we'll see how it closes. If it closes higher than this one, awesome. What's a daily look like? Pretty fierce rejection, actually. The volume is pretty good. So, although this is just the volume on FTX perpetual, so you would have to check the volume on all the other charts, especially like all the spot markets, and see what the volume was like. But it is a good level. We start losing these levels, then I don't even want to talk about it. We want to see this. Just grind up. All good. I think it's just a wait and see at the moment. All of these coins were, I think, just looking at them, like in the top 20. And they're all going to basically follow each other. If you want to start, getting gains higher than this, sooner than this, you need to go back down the list in CoinGecko, which are, the lower liquidity coins, the ones that can be pushed around a bit more. They're a bit more volatile, they're more risky, but with more risk is more reward. Have a look and see, talking about in like the top 100 to 200, are there some projects doing good things fundamentally? Is there trading activity happening? And, try and find some good trading setups there, and you may have more luck. If you want quick scalps, these coins that I've been through today are, really high in market cap, so the volatility is lower. All right, that'll do. That's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll chat to you soon.